Now we got the main event. Now, Israel and Jared. Does Jared, now this is a question for you, Colby. Does Jared have a legitimate, I mean, and look, I know we watch the countdowns and they hype up on the trailers and you got all this power and all this stuff. When you wake up Sunday morning, do you just imagine Jared holding the belt? Yes or no?
Nope.
Damn. It said nope.
Nope. Not one.
I mean, it just, we've seen this so many times where the challenger has one way to win if they can land that punch. How many times has it happened? I only saw it happen against Robbie and again from Tyron, but Tyron had wrestling that he had to be worried about. And
Francis and all his fights.
And well, Francis is a different beast altogether. But in a title fight, how many times do a champion get just knocked out by somebody with a bunch of knockout power and lose their belt? How many times do that happen, bro?
But Israel showed some like susceptibility or vulnerability when he fought against Kelvin Gastelum too, man.
Right. But that fight was so long ago, bro. That fight so far removed.
But it's interesting because he was shorter and he was able to like
he a bigger dude.
Yeah, so you know. I mean, what's interesting is Jared, like the way to beat him is to like out grapple him. So like Israel really don't have that style,
and that ain't the way to beat Israel. Like that ain't the way Israel fight, because Jared, a lot of his losses come from Glover or these people who were just bigger than him. They kind of out wrestled him when the striking was too much, and they was able to kind of use that wrestling to squeak by. But Israel ain't got that. So if the striking get nasty, like what happens? But will the striking even get nasty? Because I think, you know, Israel been talking about Forrest Griffin and Anderson Silva, and his version of that is what he did to Paulo Costa. Man, I could just see this. I could see the Paulo Costa part 2 happening right here, bro. Man. I'm be honest. I don't think it'll happen as early, but I could see Paulo Costa part 2 happening. At least,
it's just Jared. He's going to throw leg kicks, bro. Like he's going to get in the inside. Like he's going to, even if he lose and get caught coming in, he's going to go for it.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him so dangerous, bro. Because he's not going to stay on the outside and wait. He's actually going to go forward and actually go for the knockout.
What do you think will happen, Kobe?
I think it's a few factors. Number one, I don't like Derek Brunson. So I'm going to go back there. I don't like Derek Brunson. I think he's really great. He's like, what's my man that was in the light heavyweight that went over to Bellator and started being a beast?
Corey Anderson.
Yep. He's just a middleweight version of that. And I don't like, like we just said, Kelvin Gastelum is a beast. He's just, let me tell you, Kelvin Gastelum, the only problem is he's not 6'2".
Yeah.
That's really it.
His only problem.
There would be no Izzy. There would be no Robert. Nope. Kelvin Gastelum is not 6'2". It's over for that's how, and I didn't know he was that good when he did tough, but I was like, yo, dude, hands is heavy. He wrestled good, and he got the heart of a real lion.
He's just lazy. That's the only, he just lazy. He don't be training. He be doing whatever he want to do in camp, and he be showing up to the fights with the talent, but just not the cardio.
So, but that's a good point. What do we know about people who usually are lazy that's really good? They usually have phenomenal talent. Like they really are really, really good. And he is. Like, my only thing is, Jared, he's also 38. In MMA years, man, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
38 with a young 32 and Izzy that liked to move and dance, and he liked to bounce around. Everybody else that's been on that level, I mean, MMA math again, Robert, he got the W over him. We talked about Jack Hermanson, stiff as a board. The old Anderson Silva, you know what I'm saying? So it really don't, I'm just not so, people who got just the right hand, yeah. I'm just not.
He got more than just the right hand, though.
But the going forward and pressure only intimidate dudes who's scared of the pressure. But he is Izzy is a reactive fighter. So you come in swinging, he duck, and he gonna hit you with a quick one. He got that type of speed for real. He likes to do that. He is a counter fighter.
But I feel when fighters put pressure on him, like that's when he's kind of like a little bit like there's opportunities.
I mean, there's the
I feel like-
opportunity. There's the opportunity of chance because,
Yeah.
like, even with Marvin Vettori,
Yeah.
some of the worst striking ever. But there was times where Izzy was up against the cage and Marvin couldn't touch him. But just the fact that Izzy had his hands down and doing all that showboating and all that old crazy stuff, it just invites the opportunity for misfortune. But I just don't think that you play that game with Jared. I think that he did that on certain people, but because he didn't drop his hands against Paulo, no matter how bad Paulo was fighting, he did not drop his hands against Paulo. He did not drop his hands against Yoel.
He didn't either. Yoel either. And against Jan, he really didn't against Jan either.
He knew who to play that game with, and I just don't think that he. I don't think that he just does a bunch of crazy drop the hands antics and stuff against Jared. You know, I think the hands are gonna be up because he know Jared coming down from heavyweight. Yeah, this ain't a person you want to play games with when you come to that kind of stuff. And I think that Izzy gonna be going for the finish because one thing about Israel, one knock on his career is that he don't finish people a lot at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like he might embarrass them, but bro, let's be real. We want to see you finish these people. You got the skill, you got the talent. We want to see you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them fights shouldn't have went no 5 rounds. If we being real, Marvin Vettori shouldn't have went 5 rounds. I'm gonna be real. Yoel probably shouldn't have went 5 rounds. Now I don't know how he was gonna hurt Yoel. Maybe that one should have went 5 rounds because it's just too much danger there. But a few of these fights shouldn't have went 5 rounds. And Israel knows that, bro. Like you gotta, like, because realistically, Israel still ain't the middleweight GOAT of all time, bro. As crazy as that sound. Yeah, he ain't. Not right now. Yeah. He the current king. Don't get me wrong. He is the king. He's the man. But he ain't the middleweight GOAT even right now because Anderson was putting his people away.
Yeah, but Anderson, and I'm gonna be honest with you, John is my 1, so Anderson is my 2. It's gonna be very hard to get really, and you're right. He doesn't really put people away. But I'm just telling you right now, I don't see enough in Jared to really to get it done. I really don't. Like everybody got a right hand. You know what I'm saying? I know saying he got more than that.
Put it like that, golly, dang.
But I'm just kind of like, what else scare you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Izzy got the kicks, he got the speed, he got the counter punching, he got the kick. I really like MMA is the reason why it's so fun to me is because I feel like kickboxing is like one of the craziest sports, which is really what I think a lot of people really like. It's a stand-up, no wrestling for real. That's what they really, really like. And he is really good at that, but he's very elusive and stuff like that. So before it get to the ground, you got to come to me. And I don't see Jared like really, like unless he gets him up against a cage or something, or like catches him like when they do like that little spin around and they going around. Like I feel like he catches him like that, then he can like make it very ugly, like Randy Couture up against the cage, scoop him and do his thing. But
hey, I noticed when Israel like when he backs up against a cage and he circles around, he have his hands down.
Very much so. That is true.
But I'm thinking Jared is 5'11" and Israel is 6'4", and it's like
Israel 6'4".
Yeah, he's tall, man. He's long.
Like that's what I keep saying. Like he is a.
Oh my god, I didn't know he was that tall, bro. And I watched him fight live. Oh, you're right. He is tall. Dang.
6'4". 6'4". By the time this fight, he still be 32. But like, you know what I'm saying? 6'4" with a lot of energy. Come on, man. Ain't no dudes out here doing dance routines before they go into a fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I do like Jared.
Yeah.
I don't see it though.
We all like Jared, man, and we all glad he got this far because a lot of people don't, man. And Jared been on this mission. You know, a lot of people don't ever get title shots, man. You know what I'm saying? If we being real, it's hard, man, to get on the win streak.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though: if Jared hurt Israel, it's a wrap.
But
elbows, right hand.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, but that's a big if. Is
it a wrap though? Because who put that fat lip on Izzy? You remember he got hit and his lip started swelling up real bad. Was that Rob Whitaker?
It's probably Kelvin. Nobody else touched him.
He had one where it was just like his lips swole all the way up.
Now Yoel hit him one time in the first round with a left hand, and he never got hit for the rest of that fight.
Okay, somebody put that on him, and I was like, I thought he came back from that like really well. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing. Israel got so much heart, bro. people don't really realize how many tough fights he been in. Like the Yoel fight, Yoel hit him with a fight-ending punch to start the fight off, bro. And Israel 50-45 him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know about that. That fight was close, man.
I don't know, man.
But that's my boy Yoel.
Yeah, you defend Yoel, man, no matter what. Dude, he 50-45 him after eating a knockout punch. And then he went to war with Kelvin. Bro, this man has gone to some this man has gone to war, bro. Like, and I'm not talking about absorbing a lot of damage. I mean, in just tough fights where one punch could have, because Israel don't really just have one punch knockout power. You know what I'm saying? But he's fought people with one punch knockout power, and he's managed to like go 5 rounds with these people and make it very clear that he's way better than all of them. And I think Jared is just another one of those people who's gonna fall into that category. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing with Israel, man, because when he fought Yoel, he really didn't throw that many fights. So I'm saying, like, if he fight Jared like that, bro, like.
But I'm gonna tell you another thing. Jared gonna try to be slick. He know he big. He know he got that size and that strength from coming from heavyweight. Jared gonna try to wrestle. I can almost promise you that. If you think Jared ain't gonna be trying to wrestle in this fight, because that's how he lost a bunch of fights. And if you think, man, he know he can't go for no double leg, but he gonna try to get him against the cage, and he gonna try to. I'm telling you,
maybe
he gonna try. So what's the final prediction?
I want Jared to win, but I don't think he's going to, man.
Yeah,
He's not.
It's hard to pick between 2 black people, but
I want them both to win.
Listen, you know it's crazy. That's why I never wanted Francis and Derek Lewis to fight ever. I never wanted that. And I was like, if they ever did fight, I wanted to only be for a title. So even if a black dude lost, a black dude won.
Yeah.
I never, ever, ever wanted them to fight. And then they tried to, like, when they made that, and I was so happy it was the most boring fight ever, but I was like, oh, why would they do that? Like, nobody, I didn't want to see it only because they both was like, yo, he could throw, I could throw, it could be whatever. So.
And they good for that in the UFC. They'll take 2 good black people too and say, nope. Right at the beginning, we got 2 really good people. Nope. We finna make you fight right now. That somebody finna go to L. It's like, oh my
4 and
goodness,
6,
bro. Are you freaking serious? Why they can't fight in a title fight or a number 1 contender? That way, if you lose, you 1 or 2 fights away from getting back in it. Like y'all, man, they'll trip you up in the beginning, boy. They'll not play.
So who y'all think gonna win, man?
Man, I'm going with Israel, man. Like if I had to bet my house, if I had to bet money, bro, like I'm going with Israel, man. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be a finish, but I just think it's gonna be one of those John Jones performances where the John Jones and Thiago Santos. I think that's what's gonna happen here.
That's a good comparison.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. If we go back, one of my favorite Jared fights is, well, not favorite. It was favorite for another reason, because I like how Anderson looked in that fight. If you go back to that fight, Anderson had him on the back up almost majority fight till he kicked his leg.
Oh, damn.
And I'm talking about Anderson was throwing all that,
Right.
and he just kicked him, and then he went down like that. If Izzy comes out aggressive like that, I personally believe it'll be a wash if he comes out like how Anderson did in their fight. He really kind of got lucky. I don't really believe in Jared like that. If I'm betting money, I'm betting easy money on Izzy. Probably 3rd. I'm serious. Like, I don't, and I like Jared. Like, I know it probably sounds like I don't, but I really do. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Jared back when he was puffy Jared.
Yes.
Like, a lot of people don't realize, like, bald-headed, like,
yeah, he
was swole up. Before all the muscles and all that, he was like just a puffy dude. He didn't have that build for real. And then he grew the fro out, got the muscles out, and he became a beast. But he was slowed in. He's still kind of slow now. Speed always kill that power. Always.
I didn't think about that.
Always. He just don't got the speed to keep up. If Izzy let them hands go, them kickboxing hands go.
You're right. You know, he is right. He got a slow one too, and if it land, it can knock out a werewolf. But the thing is,
so it's gonna be like Carlos versus Typhon.
Yeah, what happened last night, bro? The thing is, another thing is, Jared is like he's better than a lot of knockout artists because he's very calculated. But sometimes he could be a little bit too calculated where he sits there and he won't do nothing, and then he might throw a leg kick, but he'll sit there and he won't necessarily do nothing for a little bit too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Anderson, a 40-year-old man, was hitting him with 1-2s and 1-2s and 1-2s. Go look at the fight again.
Man, when you bring it up like that, man.
It literally was a man who is an older man, because old Anderson would have ate his ass up. Old Anderson before that Weidman fight would have tore Jerry ass up.
He would tore Israel ass up too. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, old Anderson was something different though. You know what I'm saying? But I think Israel at 6'4" is a little different than all the other people he's fought. I think size and height like means something. Like even when John fought like Big Gus and Reyes and Tiago, like they was big boys, like height wise. And John really ain't never really do great against guys that was kind of like on his height level.
Dang.
Until like he really focused on Gus, but Gus after the wars. But let's back to this one. I truthfully believe I think Jared's gonna take the L, 3rd round, knockout. Izzy. I'm going that route.
Him out of there?
I do. I don't, and I hope Izzy don't take him lightly.
Yes.
And because one thing about people who fight for the belt, Jared 38.
Yep.
He not gonna get another one.
And he knows it.
And that's what I was saying, because Israel was talking about Alex and stuff, bro. Is he focused on Alex or is he focused on Jared?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, it's true. But 38 is very rare. Like John had to leave for us to get Glover as champion.
Bro. And look, Glover, I'm glad he won it and everything like that. But make no mistake about it. That's only because of a lot of stuff that was out of his control. Like John and the drugs and the this and the crazy stuff and the guy to relinquish the belt and all the heavyweight. Like it was a whole bunch of stuff, bro. If it wasn't for that, he'd have never seen it. He'd have never touched it.
Yeah. And I like Glover. I really do. Glover got one of my favorite, like his uppercuts is so nasty and that clinch is just scary. But I got to go with Izzy on this one. 3rd round, middle of the I'm going middle of the round.
Damn.
Like
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. I see
it 3rd round. Like I'm telling you, I feel like if Izzy come out not on no timid shit, like no respect in that 1st round, because I feel like that's always like, you know, I feel like Jared's gonna be he gonna come with it off rip to show the champ that he there. I feel like Izzy knock all that out. He get to work in the 2nd round, 3rd round. I feel like he could put him out.
And Jared gonna get to sweating, overthinking, and
it's
gonna be lightning quick. Because I can see Jared standing there thinking and ain't doing nothing, and that's gonna be it.
Big pressure with a crowd there. I feel like so many dudes could have won the belt.
Remember, Derek Brunson dropped Jared now.
I'm telling you. And who hands you gonna mess with? You gonna mess with Derek? If you had to choose Derek hands or Izzy hands?
I'm choosing Derek all day. So Derek,
hold on, left hand from Derek.
Hey, what? You choosing Izzy hands? I mean Derek hands over Izzy hands?
You talking about to eat the punch or the
No. I'm talking about just throwing them. Like who striking is you choosing?
Well, Israel got the faster punch, but Derek got knockout power.
But what I just tell you, speed don't mean nothing. You could be strong as hell. If it take you 20 minutes to get to my face and I done hit you with one already, we already done seen how that
If he got hit with a slow Derek Brunson punch, then you know.
He was looking for takedowns too. It wasn't just like a striking match.
That's true. But he still got put down though. Like that did happen. So, and I'm gonna say another thing. Israel in this fight, he got to show another wrinkle in his game too, bro. Like
that's a fact.
Israel is good at what he do, but another thing that's gonna hurt Israel is that because Anderson had submissions, he had knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Israel, you getting all decisions, bro, with like a sprinkle of a TKO here and there. And then the one you had, Paulo literally didn't do nothing. It was mostly what Paulo didn't do that led to the knockout, if anything. Yeah. So I think, if anything, I think he drops Jared. I think he rear naked choke him. If I'm gonna be honest with you,
I wouldn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't do that. I would. If I had the chance, I wouldn't. If he got him like wobble, I would try to finish him with hands. Because if Alex wins that fight against Sean Strickland, that's where I feel like you show another.
You're right. That's smart. You 100% right.
Because any dude that knocked me out, I ain't trying to go back to where we was like evenly yoked.
I'm turning to Damian Maya on you, boy. That's very smart. You're right.
So
hey, I can see Jared getting into these later rounds but he went 5 rounds though before, didn't he?
He can't. He does. He looked like a sweaty mess, but he be still going. He still bang at 4 and 5. So,
but Kevin's so small, like as far as height wise, this is gonna be different, bro. This is gonna be like way different. Man, I'm going Izzy 4th round, something like you know what I'm saying. I just think
you just gonna finish 4th round,
and hopefully Izzy can get it done.
I'm going with Jared highlight real knockout.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just playing.
I'm finna say it, man. I wouldn't.
I'm going with Izzy or safe.
You wouldn't bet your bank account on that. I ain't no way.